PJ Washington and the Dallas Mavericks take down the Los Angeles Clippers 101-90 in Game 3 of the first round. What an insanely impressive defensive game from the Dallas Mavericks, keeping the Los Angeles Clippers to 90 points. First person I want to talk about, of course, PJ Washington. Now, PJ didn't have some outstanding offensive game, but PJ Washington, easily hometown hero for the Dallas Mavericks. He finished the game with 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block, 5 of 10 from the field. Decently efficient role-playing game on offense for PJ Washington, but where he really shines is on the defensive end of the ball, and his primary matchups did not shoot well tonight. But the thing that really stood out for PJ Washington was that dog mentality. In the fourth quarter, Terrence Mann is checking in. He just walks on the court and starts talking to PJ, and PJ looks at him and then just turns, crosses his arm, starts mean mugging the entire Clippers bench. I don't even know what to say about that, but I love it. PJ Washington is officially my favorite player on the Dallas Mavericks and probably in the league. I know that might seem a little weird to you, but easily my favorite player. I love PJ Washington and what he's bringing to this team right now. Later on, Russ hooks Luka and slings him around. A lot of people are saying Luka flopped. I didn't really see that, maybe a little bit. And Russ definitely still slung him around. PJ backs up Luka, comes up, shoves Russ off of Luka. Russ turns around, shoves PJ and starts barking at him. PJ just looks at him and laughs. He's like, "Come on, man, really? Come on, Russ. What have you been doing all game? Straight menace activity." Yeah, can we talk about Russell Westbrook real quick? This guy, I don't think he's coming to terms with the end of his career very well. Don't get me wrong, Russ has still been a great role player off the bench, just huge spark of energy. He's everywhere at all times, but he's obviously not what he once was, and it seems like he's starting to take it out on the court. Josh Green in the fourth quarter is coming down, or I don't remember when this was, but he's going down on a fast break, wide open to get a dunk, and he goes up for the layup, and Russ just comes out of nowhere and he just smacks him in the head with his elbow. It does not look like an actual basketball play. His hand's nowhere near the basketball. So was he really going for the ball? It looked like he was just trying to smack the hell out of Josh Green. Honestly, there was just several plays throughout the game where Russ was just on menace mode. What are you doing, man? We get it. You were an all-star, an MVP, a great player, an insane athlete for so many years, and now there's just lots of guys that are better than you, and when they talk trash, it seems like you're quite sensitive, my man. What's going on here? You don't got to take it out on Josh Green, man. Josh is just chilling, going for a layup, and gets his head knocked straight to the ground from an elbow from Russ. Come on, man. I don't know if I'd call Russ a dirty player, but some of those plays were pretty sus to me, and I really did not appreciate that activity from him. It wasn't just like he was putting it all out on the floor. It was like he was putting it all out on other players physically. Anyways, keeping the Clippers to 90 points, that's another note I want to talk about. The Clippers are a fantastic offense, and for them to be able to score on the Mavericks, it's tough shot after tough shot after tough shot, and they can make some tough shots, but you can't build your offense around that for an entire game, and that's why the Mavericks really took it home. The final score really doesn't tell the whole story because they were up by 20 before both teams started putting their benches in with 2 or 3 minutes to go. That's the other thing. Garbage time in a playoff game from the Mavericks when the Mavericks are winning, that's a beautiful sight to see. I was not expecting that at all this entire series. The stars for the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie and Luka. Kyrie with 21, 4, and 6, and Luka with 22, 10, and 9. Kyrie, pretty efficient game, just didn't take a ton of shots, did not get hardly any foul calls. Luka, 22, that's an anomaly, but 22, 10, and 9, almost a triple-double with 2 steals. Luka only going 28% from the field, which was pretty rough shooting night for him, and 5 turnovers, but still almost put up a triple-double, and he's still pretty locked in on the defensive end, and that's pretty solid, but the best part about Luka only having 22, 10, and 9, we didn't need Luka to drop 40 this game to win. The role players showed out. That's such a beautiful sight to see. Great contributions from the bigs. 13 and 2 with 2 blocks from Lively in 15 minutes. In 25 minutes for Gafford, 8, 4, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Insanely efficient scoring from the bigs and really good defense. Gafford Gafford had struggled a little bit with Zubac still. He still got pushed around a bit by him. Lively really didn't, but still great contributions from those guys, great rim protection. We're cool. If Zubac wants to go for 20 points every night, like, that's not going to kill the Mavericks alone. So we're cool with that. If that's what they have to go to score, we're all right with that, man, because he's only going to be able to do that on Gafford. He can't do it to Lively, and he can't do it to Maxey. So we're cool on that. Definitely want Russ to keep shooting. That man was 0 for 7 from the field. 1 3-1 for that guy. Poor Russ, man. I don't know what's going on with him. Josh Green had a phenomenal game in his 25 minutes. He only scored 8 and had 5 rebounds and a steal, but that steal was nice. It got the whole crowd hyped because I don't remember who the pass was. Russell Westbrook stole the ball, and then Josh Green comes out of nowhere and just grabs it out of his hands. A man-sized steal right there. What a great play from him. Maxi Kleber didn't get that many minutes in this game, which is nice to know, because going forward, having the bigs be able to play major minutes in a playoff game and get those contributions from the big guys is going to be really great, especially in the second round if we can manage to take out the Clippers. Oklahoma City Thunder are a very small team, and so if we were forced to play Maxey for the spacing, we're just playing straight into the Thunder's hands, which I don't think that necessarily means we would lose, but we're definitely not using our big advantage on the Thunder, which is size. Derek Jones had a really great defensive game. He also had a pretty efficient scoring game with 11 points on 50% from the field. He did hit 1 3. He was 1 for 3, which is nice to see him putting them up and at least hitting one. But yeah, going forward in the next game, if the Mavericks can just execute similarly on defense as they have the first 3 games, it's kind of a wrap, because the Clippers are going to need an outlier performance from one of their stars at this point to really get them over the hump of the Dallas Mavericks defense. And from the looks of it, Kawhi's pretty dang hobbled. I love Kawhi, but he is not himself right now. I wouldn't even be surprised if they sat him the next game, or at least one of the games. Paul George had an absolute stinker. I think he finished with 9 points, 7 or 9 points, and he was like 30% from the field. Stinker from him. Derek Jones locked him up all game. The possessions PJ had on him, he was locked up. Harden had a solid game. He had a really efficient 21 on like 70% from the field. He was like 5 of 8 from 3. Pretty solid Harden game, but Harden's not going to win you these games, man, unless he's willing to drop 50 like he did last year on the Sixers. I don't think Harden's going to get you over the hump. I didn't really have too many thoughts. It was just a fantastically executed game the entire way through from the Dallas Mavericks. Not necessarily an impressive offensive game, but as long as the role players are going to continue contributing at the same level, if not even a little bit less than this on offense, the Mavs are still going to be able to get it done. I don't see how the Clippers really bounce back from this unless Kawhi is just game 4, he's back and he's 100%. And that's just not something, if I was a Clippers fan, that I would want to bet on at this point. Pretty happy to be a Mavericks fan at this point in time. You should be too if you are watching this as a Mavericks fan. If you're watching this as a non-Mavericks fan, then you're probably a Clippers fan and you're probably mad at half the stuff I've been saying. But yeah, peace.